Okay, hello everyone. So I have Liz here, and Liz has been in the program almost a year. It'll be a year in about a month. About 11 months. So welcome, Liz. I just wanted to bring you on just so that you can possibly tell some other women who maybe were in your shoes, where you were like 11 months ago, and kind of how you were feeling and different thoughts that you might have been going through, and see if you can maybe motivate them a little bit with what all you've experienced, to know that there's hope within a fitness transformation. So go ahead and just tell us a little bit about yourself, and like, where you're from.
Hi, I'm Liz. I'm from New York, Long Island to be more specific. And I've literally had a battle with my weight my entire life, like chubby kid, skinny kid, chubby teen, all that. So it's just always been a struggle. And I found Kenna years ago, back before I think right after I got married. So it was great because I was able to maintain what I had going on then back with one of her plans. And then I had babies. And it was like a constant weight fluctuation. So last year, around this time, I would say was like my rock bottom, the heaviest I've ever been. And I was struggling. I was struggling on my own because usually I would like, I can lose something and I don't know, I just couldn't get out of it. And this opportunity came about and I said, I have to jump on this because like I said, I was at rock bottom and I knew I needed the help. And her, kind of your plan just was the one that like spoke the most to me about like getting me that personal one-on-one help that, um I can do. And it's all through, you know, it's remote technically with, everything that's been going on. But um, I feel like the interactions I've had in this program is more personal than when I used to have like trainers and health coaches and a nutritionist years ago.
Mhm.
So,
Well,
yes, that's
good. I'm happy to hear that. So, how did you feel about nutrition and like food, and I guess your knowledge on nutrition and food before you started? Were you like overwhelmed with what to eat? Like, how did you feel with some of
oh
that?
yeah. I've never had a healthy relationship with food. So I either learned to really restrict myself and or the other end of the spectrum with like binge eating and
Mhm.
overeating, never getting like getting to that satisfied point but still like surpassing it. So I never had like a real relationship where like understanding the foods I was eating, how they were going to affect my body and how I was going to feel more fueled by food versus just eating to either satisfy some
Mhm.
hunger or to satisfy some emotion, which
Mhm.
was always one of my struggles too. So that was before.
Yeah, and you went on a couple girlfriend trips too, didn't you? And you got to like have food and
Oh yeah,
experience
definitely
that.
trips or we had a lot of big parties because I'm
Mhm.
41. So we had a lot of 40th, 41st parties. And yeah, the drinking, food,
Mhm.
me and my friends, we love snacks and those
Yeah.
hors d'oeuvres, all those, comfort food too. It's not like we our events were surrounded by what are we drinking, what are we eating.
Yeah.
So um and like that was a really good thing that I overcame where I prepared myself leading up to whatever event was happening. But even when like when we were away, I didn't want to come home from that trip like feeling I overdid it and I
Mhm.
have so much more to like work back on.
Mhm.
So I was able to kind of change my mindset with that, with the tools you gave me. to, all right, make healthier choices. And, I still had French fries and I
Yeah.
still have bread, but like I wouldn't eat like everything. I ate some of it, or we shared food. Like
Uh-huh.
me and my shared meals because it was not necessary to eat these massive portions, which is something I was always so used to.
Mhm.
In New York too, we get massive portions and no need for it.
Uh-huh.
So
Well, good. Yeah, I remember first talking to you and you had like a girlfriend's trip planned or some sort of party. And I remember it was one of our very first check-ins. And you were like, I think I messed up because we had this party. I was like, no, like you're good. You're still on track. And so
yeah,
I remember that being like an aha moment for you because you didn't fail. There was no pass or fail for the
right.
week. And like, dreading a check-in or to tell someone like what you eat. Like it's all good. Like it fit.
Yeah, they're really like I think in the beginning I was getting so anxious about that sort of thing, and it never really was. It never became once. Actually, I think getting through that event and
Hmm.
seeing it's one day, and I didn't mess up that much, and it's not affecting me as much. That anything leading up after that, I was like, it's fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it is. Okay, so I guess like how's your confidence around food now that you've been in the program? Do you feel like you would go back into like the binge and restrict or, do you feel like you have a little bit of control? How do you feel about food right now?
Um, yeah, I definitely have more control. I would say, um, there's days when you get cravings, and sometimes I realize that the craving's still going to be there. Sometimes, I'll say, all right, we'll see if this craving's here tomorrow, and if it's not, then we're good. But if the
Mm-hmm.
craving's here the next day, I'm like, all right, so we're gonna have like a little bit, like let's say
Yeah.
something salty, because salt for me, it sticks to me. So usually I'm not gonna go crazy with salt, but if I'm craving something salty and let's say I want French fries, then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get like the really good French fries. I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
settle for McDonald's French fries, which aren't that great. Like I'm gonna find the good French fry place, I'm gonna get a small portion of them,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. I'm gonna make it worth the food. A lot of the times we got a lot of takeout at my house, and
Mm-hmm.
my family still does, but I kind of find alternatives. Um, but if the takeout's going to be something that I know I'm going to enjoy in moderation, then I'll do that. But if it's not worth it, I've changed my mindset to say I'm not going to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And and then I go to bed. It's the
Yeah.
next day. Right? I go
That's
to
good.
workout. Right.
Mhm.
Drink water, go work out, and I get past it. The binge
Yeah.
eating has really it's really subsided, and
Mm-hmm.
emotionally I'm kind of like, all right, I know why I was feeling how I was feeling and eating, and now it's like, all right, am I hungry, or am I just like annoyed and tired and cranky, and
Mm-hmm.
with that instead
Yeah.
I'll just go to bed.
Yeah. So
Oh
what food is off limits? Do you have a food that's off limits in this?
no,
Yeah.
really not at all.
Yeah. You could literally eat whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so how was the accountability and support? Because that's a big one for people. What was your experience with the accountability and support?
Well, we have with the two ways, the one-on-one with you, and then having the separate group support from anyone else who's doing your program. I think that was a good balance because um, we can, I would talk to you about specific things, but then in the group, it's kind of like you get to share things, you get to ask questions like, hey, who has a suggestion for I need more protein?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and granted, you break down of all the proteins we have, but sometimes you just need like a new idea of how to
Mm-hmm.
eat it. Um, so that's good. The weekly weigh-ins for
Mm-hmm.
accountability. As much as I don't like
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't I know it's great because then you can see a better result.
Mhm.
You're seeing your results, the
Yeah.
before.
Uh-huh.
Um, so the weekly weigh-ins, the pictures, making us accountable, and when you actually see the results on paper and in pictures,
Mm-hmm.
you realize like this is working.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Your transformation's been so good. I've loved watching you go through it. And then like your first photos that you submitted was, the workout clothes that covered a lot, and now you're
yeah,
like in the bikini and like able to show more.
yeah,
So it's really cool to watch just getting comfortable, like you're getting comfortable with your body, and like it's awesome.
yeah. Oh, my confidence is different. It's nice because now I'm definitely at that stage where people are noticing, and
Hmm.
it that keeps you wanting. It makes you want to push more because
Hmm.
I'm seeing the results, families seeing the results, people who I run into that I haven't seen in so long are now seeing the
Hmm.
results. So it's nice.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good motivation.
Yeah.
Um, so what would you say to someone who's kind of like on the fence, not sure that they need a coach or not sure that they want to join something like this? What would you say to someone, or maybe what would you even say to yourself, like before we had the phone call, the first initial phone call? And the thought, just knowing the thoughts that go through your head whenever you're like, oh, I don't know if I should do it or what. What would you say to someone who's kind of like in that place?
I think you really have to look at yourself and say, okay, is this something that I can do on my own by myself? Because even if you have like family that's supportive and friends that are supportive, they're not going to understand what you're going through if they're not doing the same thing. So to have someone who's coaching you to get to where you want to, and also have a group of people who are going through what you're doing, it changes your motivation and it changes the support you have. So if you feel like, I've been trying to do this on my own and something's not clicking, I'm missing something, um, there's more than just it's more than just coaching. The tools that we're learning, the support. I mean, Kenny, you're like the biggest cheerleader. So it's like to have that, you know, someone there that's pushing you and but like in a good way and
Mhm.
supporting you. It really makes a difference. So if you're on the fence and you're like, oh, I could do this myself, but it's been like a year of two of you saying, I
Yeah.
can do this myself, jump in and do it because it was the best decision I made. I was skeptical, not
Mhm.
skeptical. I was scared to do it because it was like,
Yeah.
well, what if I don't get results? And um, I mean, you yourself have to do it.
Mhm.
Like you have to put
Yeah.
the work in and just say, okay, these are the tools and it's gonna work. Like you have to put the work in. So if you know you're gonna put the work in and just do it. It's so worth it. Almost a year later, and I look back and I am like, this was the best thing I could have done for myself. I really was.
Good. Well, I'm proud of you. So thank you for coming on and talking to us. And hopefully this motivates someone else to put themselves first and take the plunge and just go all in with knowing that they're going to be supported and learn all the tools to keep the weight off forever,
Yeah. Yeah. Putting yourself first. That's exactly what you have to do because you're the one that's living.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Liz.
You're welcome.